Today we're going to do a lesson that's pre-Chapter 5. It's a real easy lesson. You'll be fine without me. At first we're going to find the midpoint. That means the middle of each segment. So we're going to find the average of the x's and we're going to find the average of the y's. So let's add up the two x values. The x values are 2 and -1. We're going to add those together. 2 and -1 is 1 and divide it by 2. So we get a half. Now let's find the y values. -3 and 5. Let's add those together. -3 and 5 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So as you can see, my y value for the midpoint is 1. So I'd like for you to try number 1. You're going to find the average of the x's and the average of the y's. So which two numbers are the x's in number 1? It's the 3 and the 1. So let's take the 3 and the 1, add them together, and divide it by 2. Now let's do the y's. Take the two numbers that represent the y values, the 6 and the 2, add those together, and divide by 2. Go ahead and simplify those and write it as a coordinate, and let's check your work. So here's the answers that you should have. You should have the answer of 2, 4. You add 3 and 1 to get 4, divide it by 2 to get 2. Take the y values, 6 and 2, which is 8, divide it by 2 and get 4. Now that you have the hang of it, go ahead and try numbers 2, 3, and 4. Add the x's together, divide by 2. Add the y's together, divide by 2. I'm going to give you a couple minutes here, and then we'll check your answers. Feel free to pause if you need to pause it. The answer for number 2 was 1, 4. You add the two x's together, -3 and 5, to get 2, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. Add the y values together, 7 and 1, divided by 2 and get 4. For number 3, 16 and -5 divided by 2. You get 11, and 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. So you could say 11 over 2, or you could say 5.5. Either one is fine. And for the y value, you could say -7 and 3 is -4. So that would be a -2. And for the last one, -12 and 3, that's -9. So -9 over 2. You could leave it -9 over 2, or you could say -9.5, or -4.5. Sorry, -4.5. Now for the y values, 14 and -5 is 9. So you could say 9 over 2 or +4.5. Now we're transitioning to do more like a Pythagorean theorem. But now every time we're going to have the a and the b. So it's going to be really easy. You're going to have the a and b every time. You're going to have the two legs. You're going to square them, and it's going to equal the hypotenuse. Remember, the hypotenuse is opposite the 90-degree angle. It's always the longest side. And you can leave your answer as a decimal. And we'll talk about. So on this problem, A and B is the 4 and the 8. You take the two legs and you're going to square them. So 4 squared plus 8 squared. Add them together and you get 80. So what we need to do is we need to take the square root of 80. Now when you push the square root of 80 on those yellow calculators, you get 4 radical 5, or 4 square root 5. Let's turn that to a decimal. So push the little white button, I think it's white, above the enter button. It has little arrows on it. And you should get 8.94. If you are having trouble getting that answer, ask someone around you, and hopefully they can help you figure out how to get 8.94. Now we're going to do the same thing for 2 and 3. You're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. You're going to square the two legs, add them together, and then take the square root of it. Go ahead and try those now, please. For number 3, you take the two legs, 18 and 24, square them to get 324 and 576, then add them together, and then square root it to get 30. I'd like for you to do 4, 5, and 6 on your own now, please. Feel free to pause the video. So lastly, what we're going to do is we're going to find the distance between 2 points using the Pythagorean theorem. So we've been practicing using Pythagorean with A and B. So if you notice, the red segment is here. It's already been graphed for you, -3, 6. And 2, -1. So what you need to do is you need to draw in the other two corners so it makes a triangle, and it needs to be a right triangle. Now you could draw it going downward and make a triangle going the opposite direction down in the other corner, and that's fine. You would still have the lengths of 5 and 7. So the two legs are 5 and 7. We need to square those. So you get 25 and 49. So take 25 and 49, get 74, square root it, and you get 8.6. Now, what I want you guys to do is to plot the points. 3, -1, and 6, 3. Go ahead and plot them now. Connect them, like it did here on the slide where it shows the red line. And then connect them and make a right triangle, like it did in the example with the blue line. Then count and see how many units each of those segments represent. Okay, so let's go ahead and pause the video, go do that, and we'll have one more slide and we'll be finished. Okay, so I just realized my colors are messed up on my example here, but you get the idea. I plotted the segments, and I drew a line connecting them. And then I made a triangle. Now, yes, I could have made the triangle going the other direction, but I wanted a right triangle. One side has a length of 4, one side has a length of 3. I square those because they are the sides of the triangle. So I get 16 and 9, which gives me 25. And I square root that, and I get 5. So that is the length of my hypotenuse. Alright guys, so you're finished with the notes. The assignment is on Canvas. It is really easy and is due before you leave today. Please use your class time wisely. Please do not play on your computer or on your phone until after your assignment is submitted to me. Thank you, and send me any questions that you have with Remind or on Canvas.